Yeah, I know. I got back into town the other day, and then the white wolf thing hit the news on Tuesday, and yeah, I heard. Yeah, we got an update on it. Yeah, it's right. Yeah, all right. Got to go do the show. Okay, man. Yeah. All right. Take care. Yeah, the white wolf story. We're going to pick up on that in just a couple minutes. By the way, after a week off, happy to be back in the saddle here at Niagara 411 Live with Sterry, fueled by Gales Gas Bars, powered by WeeStreem, supported by Performance Heating and Air, as well as Verge Insurance Group. And on this very, very muggy sort of tropical day in Niagara, we are going into the cooled atmosphere of Fiddler's Poorhouse here on St. Paul Street in St. Catharines. Thanks again, Fiddlers, for letting us come on in here. Yeah, the white wolf thing is, well, it has reached an end, I guess. I don't think we have, as Winston Churchill said, we haven't reached the beginning of the end. I think we've reached the end of the beginning on this story. I think there's a lot more that we're going to hear about this just because of how it was perhaps ratified today. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Also, some other guests coming on the program today. We're going to talk about the Niagara 2022 Canada Games. I think I got that right. There's a lot of things that we could call it. Chris Sagan, the marketing guy for the games, is going to join us in about 15 minutes or so. And we have some other things coming up for you here on Niagara 411 Live with Sterry. So in about 30 seconds, we'll get the shindig underway, all right? Thanks.
We have one at the cottage, so.
Hey, and again, welcome to a very steamy Thursday afternoon here in Niagara for this August the 11th, Niagara 411 Live with Sterry, Season 3, Episode 30 already. Just crazy how fast time goes, isn't it? And it is very, very tropical-like around Niagara Day, and I do want to send out my thoughts and prayers and condolences to any of those people that have jobs that they have to work outside today, because it really isn't. Yes, I know it's pleasant because you don't have to shovel it, but it's still kind of not good if you have to work outside. So kudos to you. Now here, I do want to get into this story, as I mentioned right out front. The white wolf escape west Port Colborne update. So here we go, August 3rd, 2022. That is at approximately 7 p.m. That was last night. The communications unit of the Niagara Regional Police Service began receiving calls related to the sightings of the escaped wolf on the west side of Port Colborne. As officers assigned to 6th District responded to the area, a property owner reported the wolf and expressed concern for the safety of their animals. Officers, and I don't know what those animals were, but officers attended and attempted to contain and capture the wolf, however, were unsuccessful. The Niagara SPCA was contacted, but had not yet arrived on the scene. Given the close proximity of the wolf to the farm animals, out of concern for the safety of those animals, due to the wolf being potentially dangerous, an officer discharged a firearm and fatally shot the wolf. The investigation into the housing of the wolf is ongoing, and will be continued by the City of Port Colborne, Bylaw Department of Niagara's SPCA, and the Ministry of Natural Resources with assistance from the NRPS. The remains of the wolf are currently with the Niagara SPCA. Kevin, as I mentioned on the way in, we have not heard the end of this story. The officer that shot the wolf no doubt felt that he or she was doing the appropriate thing under the circumstances. However, I predict that there will be a regional hue and cry about the death of that animal. It had been tracked since, I believe, Tuesday. It was announced that the animal had escaped its enclosure, and we're not sure exactly where that enclosure was. Again, going back to the release, it said that the investigation regarding the housing of that animal is still ongoing, so we're not sure what the situation was. Was it a pet? Was it a... We don't know. And we don't know where it was. The cops obviously do, but we don't yet.
I mean, the best they give us here in the original release, Lee, was an area of Main Street West and Cement Road in Port Colborne.
Yeah, so it's not right. It's number 3 highway.
Yeah, it is. And a lot of people in the comments left screenshots of the residents.
Of where it came from?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Now, I don't know as to the accuracy or validity of it, but here is the original release. You see a lot of comments on here. A lot of people really rooting for the safe return of the white wolf.
I personally, now, again, I wasn't there, and I'm not condemning, but I guess in a way I am. Sorry, you have to have an opinion. I believe that officer did the wrong thing, because this is such a huge story, and the sensitivity that people have for wildlife and nature and animals being removed or from their natural habitat and such things. It was no doubt scared. It was obviously hungry. Who knows what was going, and the SPCA was on the way. And these are people that are trained to deal with animals. Here's a picture of the big bad wolf.
I don't know. I mean, it looks too posed, too stock photo.
Is that the picture of the wolf?
It's hard for me to say.
Yeah, I don't know. You can't believe anything in the internet.
Here's what people say. Looks like a border collie, white shepherd mix.
Well, they did. Well, that might have, but they did.
Here you go.
Confirm
Here you go.
that
Welland
it was
Tribune
a wolf.
says this picture was taken by a staff member of the Welland Tribune.
Please remove this photo.
The Welland Tribune cops, they were out.
Yeah.
Let's see what people had to say to that.
Beautiful dog. More like a dog than a wolf. Yeah, I agree. Wolves have crazy legs compared to regular dogs. That's... oh, no, come on. You got to go back there, Kevin.
Right.
I have to read that one. Justin says, Welland Tribune, that's too bad. Well, wrong spelling of two, but it's too bad it's a nice wolf. By the way, great article on the dildos the other day. Maybe you should use one. I had to read that. I'm sorry. We're not in mainstream media, are we? We can say those things.
Yeah,
the same way we can say effing ham. We can say that. Anyway.
So, I mean, you're spot on, though, Lee. I mean, looking at the original release here.
It was the wrong thing to do. It was the worst PR mistake that officer could have made for the Niagara Regional Police. Really, honest to God.
The way it plays out, I don't think is going to sit very well with people. It seems as though they had the animal somewhat cordoned. I mean, they knew where it was. They were waiting for the SPCA to arrive. I don't know how far out they were. We also don't know what immediate danger those farm animals were in.
And those farm animals might have been able to protect themselves too. I mean, they are animals. They're not immune to fighting back for themselves.
Now, I'm just playing the other side here, Lee.
I know.
What if the wolf was about to eat a pig? So whose life is more valuable? Do we let the wolf eat the pig, or do we shoot the wolf before it kills the pig? I'm just saying that might have been a scenario. It doesn't really read that way.
No. I don't think you can win this one. I just don't. The animals are animals, and they're going to do what they're going to do. And I really don't think that we should have intervened in that way.
Yeah, I would encourage anybody that's watching the show now, if you have an opinion on this.
I was going to do that too, Kevin. No, go ahead.
All you have to do is just click on the Zoom link right there, and you can be a guest on the show and share your opinions. What you think? Did the NRP act too quickly? Do you think the NRP did the right thing? Do you think the community did the right thing? What about this guy even having the white wolf in an enclosure to begin with, and then framing it as a white wolf rescue from up north? There's a lot happening here.
You're right. There's a huge number of things, and that's why this story is long from being over. But here's the thing. Going back to a few other stories that we've covered in the past, and not just our platform, other media as well, and in this, I will kind of poke at the Niagara Regional Police Service a little bit. There are so many things in Niagara that people follow with great interest and contribute to attempting to resolve with great activity and great interest, and participate in things like missing people, like the Blagden story, etc. And then the information stream stops. And I honestly believe that there needs to be a public full disclosure without having to go through the release of documents and the request of freedom of information and all that other hoo-ha. There really needs to be, Kevin, in a lot of cases, some closure to these things, saying, okay, here's how the story played out. Now that it's over, here's what happened. And we don't get that. We never, ever, ever do get that. And I suppose it's not exclusive to our own police force. It's probably the same story with just about any law enforcement or agency in the country or around the world. It just is very, very irritating that we who are interested in helping these people and helping to find out, we're not just looky-loos and curiosity seekers and rumor mongers. We honestly really would like to know what's happened to some of these stories after they're concluded. And this story is one of those that fits into that category extremely well. Why did and the officer might have been completely justified, as Kevin mentioned, but I know the hue and cry is not going to stop here.
And Lee, I mean, testament to that, here are some people commenting on the original post, and I mean, these are, and just so people know, you can sort by newest, so here are the newest comments on the original post, and people are very much echoing what you've said.
These animals have no choice, clearly, so I don't understand your responses. It's just wrong. These animals belong free. NRP shot the wolf because it got too close to someone's livestock. SPCA was on their way, and the NRP shot her instead. Too bad they had to kill it. Hope all you ignorant people are now happy. Instead of a tranquilizer, they shot her. Bullshite. A friendly baby now gone because of all the bull crap. They could have tranquilized her. Yeah, they could have. But they had to wait for the people with the tranquilizers. I don't think the cops carry tranquilizers in their car. And that officer obviously felt justified in taking lethal force, if you will, because of the situation. I wasn't there. I don't know. But it truly is a shame that this animal, through no fault of its own, it was being what it was, which is a wolf. Irrespective of its color, it's acting like a wolf. It doesn't think it's special because it's white. It doesn't even know it's white. It's a wolf. Wolves do what wolves do. Shame. A real shame. So, the beat goes on with that one, Kevin. In Niagara 2022, Canada Summer Games are underway. Well, actually, they're not underway yet. They start the 6th. They start the day after tomorrow. Chris Seguin is going to be joining us, manager and media communications person for the games. And he's coming up in about 5 minutes or so. So we look forward to talking to him. And, it's not over, as they say, but the shouting when all the games are done. And we'll find out whether it was a great decision to have them here or not. I'm having a feeling that it was a right decision, especially since finally the COVID thing has allowed people to gather. Sports fans can now gather in groups and watch events. So we were all worried about this during COVID because, I mean, we knew the games were coming for quite some time when COVID still had us shut down. And now we're actually able to enjoy some of these things. So,
if nothing else, Lee, I really enjoy the infrastructure improvements. I mean, the Canada Games facility up at Brock University is going to leave a legacy here for decades, if not generations to come. Some of the improvements out of the Welland Jackfish Stadium, the improvements to Oaks Park, stuff like that's going to be left behind as a testament to the games itself.
Absolutely.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Kevin Jack, ladies and gentlemen, on the right portion of your screen, WeeStream co-founder, executive producer of this program. Missed you last week, Kevin. I know we both kind of took a week off to get a bit of a breather, but it's good to be back. How's the WeeStream streaming world going these days?
Pretty good. We kind of slowed things down for the summer, but one of the things that we are doing is this Sunday, we will be on the sandy beaches of Ashbridges Bay live streaming the Ontario Beach Volleyball Championships.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Absolutely, and these athletes are absolutely talented. I look forward to going there each and every year. And just like the Summer Games, COVID had canceled, 2019 or 2020, 2021, so we're back in 2022, and very happy to be there for the OVA. And sorry, Lee, I was just stumbling because I wanted to share this. You're mentioning, what I've been up to.
Yeah.
Well, big thanks to Sherry Hawkins and the team down at Mainly Niagara.
Kevin Jack, model citizen.
Yes, they named me a model citizen
well
here.
Done.
There's a whole little bio that I had to write myself, so it's in my own words.
You wrote it yourself?
Yes, Lee. Nobody knows this much.
No,
about
but
me.
I signed off on it.
Yeah, that was nice. And thanks, of course, to Ron, who came down and took the photo, and it's quite nice.
Hey, I'm just happy that I got an honorable mention in your bio there. That's thanks for dropping that in. I just feel honored to be in your company.
So that's what's going on with me, Lee. Before we get to Chris Sege here of the Niagara 2022 Canada Summer Games, what have you been up to? I mean, you just got back from California. Maybe we'll touch on that more lately. But
we can talk more about that later. We were down there actually ostensibly for a celebration of life ceremony for an aunt of mine whom we were very, very close to. She lived in Ventura, California, as well as a few other places over the course of her life. But we had a chance to do a lot of other things while we were down there as well, and it was just it's one of my favorite places. We've been in California a few times because of the family connection, but that's where we were over the last a little while. Yeah, it was great fun. And travel is always a challenge, but we managed to get back and get through and get here, and
And the weather was California perfect?
California perfect. Sunny, warm, no humidity, every day. What are you going to do? It's tough, but somebody's got to do it. Chris Seguin, manager and media and communications officer for the Niagara 2022 Canada Summer Games, is joining us on the program. And obviously you live in a very austere place right now. You've got like absolutely nothing in the background. Where the hell are you?
I'm in an empty office because we've been moving a lot of things here at Canada Games Park in preparation for the games that are just 2 days away.
I'll bet. You look like you could have used a few hours sleep over the last couple of weeks. You probably haven't had too much.
Yeah, I could use a couple more hours of shut-eye, that's for sure. And I'm sure that's going to be a reoccurring theme in the days that follow and in the weeks that follow. Yeah,
no doubt, Chris, no doubt. So in a couple of days, the games get underway. And how have the preparations gone? What is the status? How's everything going? I know that COVID was a big deal in the lead up to this after the games were awarded to Niagara, and thank goodness that we can, as I said earlier, sort of proceed beyond that situation. But it must have been quite a trip over the last year or so.
Yeah, it has, for sure. An extra year of runway meant from a planning perspective, and I'm even thinking from the marketing side, which is the sort of team I fold in. We had a lot of pre-games events that we had planned that had to be put on pause, including what was supposed to be a 1-year out concert that then became a 200-day out concert that then became a 100-day out concert. So, but it is amazing, with that said, to be sort of living in this moment and seeing it be activated. I know in Niagara, this has been talked about for so long, right? So to see it actually materializing today here, even at Canada Games Park, we saw the girls basketball team for Team Ontario was here. The girls box lacrosse team, which is the first of its kind in Canada Games history, especially for Team Ontario, because there's never been a girls box lacrosse competition games ever. They were here, and you just see the excitement that these athletes have, and you recognize this is a part of what we're putting on. And as you guys were talking about before, the legacy that we're creating, I'm literally sitting in a building that is going to be, a representation of what this event meant for a very, very long time, which is pretty special to say.
And what building are you in again right now?
Canada Games Park. So there's the Walker Sports and Ability Center, which is one facility of many here at Canada Games Park. We'll have the track and field outside, as well as we have the beach volleyball courts. There's 6 of them.
That's we got a bit of a freeze. It happens. Chris will be back with us in just a second, as soon as we get a brief. Okay, we had a bit of a freeze there, Chris. Sorry. So tell us again where your building is.
Yeah, sorry. So I'm at the Walker Sports and Ability Center at Canada Games Park, which is located at the corner of Merrittville Highway and Sir Isaac Brock Boulevard, just the corner of Brock University's campus.
Right.
I am inside one of the offices right by where the main media center is.
Yeah.
But outside we also have the GFL International Track and Field Center. You got the beach volleyball courts that are outside. There's a cycling center that's outside as well. So literally existing, like you said, in a legacy facility of the games, and it's exciting to see.
Sorry,
this.
how many athletes are actually going to be here competing, Chris?
Somewhere around close to 5,000 athletes and participants are going to be coming in to compete over the next 2 weeks of the games. They don't all come at once.
Right.
The first half come in for week 1. There are some two-sport athletes that'll stay throughout the 2 weeks, so they get the opening and closing ceremony experience.
Mm-hmm.
But many will either come to opening and spend the first week with the games, and then the second half will come in for the second week of competition and head to closing ceremony.
Do the closing. 5,000 athletes, and of course, any athlete travels. There might be the odd one that travels alone, but not many. They usually have their professional entourage with them, their trainers and coaches, etc., and then family members that follow them. So we're talking about rather a huge influx of people into Niagara over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, 100%. So obviously, teams are starting to arrive tomorrow in terms of the athletes.
Right.
Staff members of every team have already sort of got their feet on the ground and have started working from their perspectives for their teams ahead of their arrivals. But tomorrow will be really exciting with planes actually landing at Niagara District Airport. Team New Brunswick and Team Newfoundland are among the first teams that'll be arriving directly right here in Niagara, which is really exciting. But many of the teams, all of them, are going to get settled in the village because Saturday is the opening ceremony, and so they need to get themselves prepared not just for the competition but for the party that we're about to kick off. For the next
and there's a lot of organization to do for that. I want to talk about that in a second, but you mentioned Team Newfoundland coming in, or Newfoundland, however you choose to pronounce it. But and there is a 16-year-old female sensation in the under-18, under-19 baseball competition. She is the only female playing in this men's, or boys, I guess, it's under-18 or under whatever, of baseball, Jada Lee, and she is an absolute sensation and making news all across the country because of this. So that's going to be darn exciting to see her come in and do that.
Oh, 100%. And I think that's part of the fun is, for me at least on the communication side and the media relations side, is you see these great stories developing. And Jada, who's also going to be the flag bearer at opening ceremony. Yeah, she will be, yes. So she'll be the flag bearer for Team Newfoundland and Labrador. Just an incredible story, right? And she throws a fastball that tops out close to 80 miles per hour if it doesn't.
Yeah, and this is hardball. This isn't softball or
not slow pitch.
No, or slow pitch. We're talking baseball here.
We're talking baseball here, and she's, and as you pointed out, and it was a great story that CBC, wrote on her, and she had this great quote that has always stuck with me, where she literally said that when she goes to the mound, she's got people saying, "Oh, is that a girl?" And then she says, when she just pitches, they all shut up.
I saw that.
I just love that personality that she has, and I think again, like it's one of Jada's story. although very unique because, as you said, she's the first female to be competing in baseball, and because it's always traditionally a men's competition.
Of course.
In Canada history. Yeah, we've never had a female baseball pitcher in the male baseball competition, but there's so many great stories these games are going to generate, and Jada's certainly one of them that deserves a lot of recognition. But, we got a 7'6" kid from Quebec who's going to be playing basketball, and I said that right, 7'6".
7'6".
Olivier Rioux, yeah.
You're sure it wasn't dyslexia kicking in, not 6'7"?
Well, he's the tallest teenager according to the Guinness World Record books, and he's right now at IMG Academy in Florida. That's where he currently goes to school. And he's
my word.
And so he's got a promising future ahead of him. We also have a swimmer from Alberta, Maxine Clark, 14-year-old. She just broke Penny Alexiak's record in her 13 to 14 age group.
Wow.
Which, if you're breaking a record that was held by the most decorated summer Olympian in the history of
That's
Canada,
pretty good. That's
That's pretty good. And so these are the kind of athletes, though, that you'll be able to watch. The Jadas, the Maxines, the Oliviers, these are people who the games are likely a destination to something much bigger. And to be a part of that journey as a community, I think everyone should really take a lot of pride in that. And I know I certainly do as part of an organizer, but any spectator or anybody who's coming, volunteer, we're really the ones who are putting this games together to help these athletes along their own development.
Like any of these things, even the Olympics, we know they're coming to a certain city years in advance. We get it, we know, and it's sort of like, okay, they're happening, and we know. But it really isn't until the rubber hits the road and these things get underway, and we start having a chance to hear some of these stories and follow some of these phenomenal young people in their athletic goals and their dreams, that all of a sudden that we go from feeling, well, I don't really, it's not a big deal for me, to really becoming engaged.
Yeah.
And that's what I find is the most energizing part of any initiative like this, is the fact that all of a sudden you switch from being apathetic to being excited. And that's a great thing for Niagara to have that happen.
Oh, agreed. Absolutely. I think it's hard not to feel that sort of energy as so contentious right now, and I think it's only going to build. Right? It's funny, we're 2 days away from opening ceremony, and I just think about what's going to take place starting on the 6th, and then moving on. That first Sunday, for instance, I think about the first ever female box lacrosse competition and games are taking place. That's where it's initiated. On the 8th, you have the first ever women's rugby competition, let alone it's rugby sevens that's making its debut at the Canada. So it's just amazing. Like these athletes, like I was talking to Bruce Cadd, who's the coach for the Team Ontario girls team, and he was just saying about how when they go to nationals, they never play PEI, they never play Manitoba because they don't have a team.
Right.
But now, because of that inclusion into the Canada Games, you got girls picking up lacrosse sticks across the country that didn't do that before, and that's what that created. So on top of the fact that we help develop athletes on their way to maybe a professional career or a very promising athletic career, you just got people being encouraged and getting into sport.
Well, they get inspired. They get inspired, and especially over the last number of years, we've seen this happen on so many, and not just sport, in other walks of life as well. Young girls being inspired to follow in their mentors or their heroes' footsteps, and realizing that, like Jada Lee, the girls can play with the boys. The girls can be out there and compete. They can keep their dreams alive and do what they want to do and achieve what they want. And that really, and I know we've come a long way with regard to so-called equality, but these things help even more to further that cause. I feel just so pleased for the young women out there that are inspired by some of these athletes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're blessed that we have some of these mentors like Jada. And I know Jada said, publicly that she's received a lot of messages
I'm sure.
from a lot of athletes that her stories has built. But I think it's encouragement that, for her, she wants them to know that these things are possible if you put your mind to it and you put the work in. And like you said, it's remarkable that we have these great ambassadors and these athletes who are so young too, who are capable of carrying on that torch and really passing along that to
well, that's the thing too, because they are young. They are in these brackets where they can they can identify with, and their fans can identify with them. It's not like a 15-year-old watching a 30-year-old compete. It's a 15-year-old watching one of their own achieve great things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's get down to brass tacks here and talk about opening ceremonies. Give us a repeat of what's happening on Saturday, when, where, how, tickets, and all that stuff.
Yeah, so I think tickets are fairly limiting because this is a hot ticket. Because the opening ceremony itself is a really unique event in the landscape of any games, whether we're talking Olympics, Pan Am Games, but also in the landscape of the Canada Games.
Right.
So the event starts at 8 o'clock at the Marine Center in St. Catharines. We'll have a number of speakers during the event, but also there's an artistic programming, as you often see with Olympics, that is representative of Niagara. It's supposed to tell a story, a little bit of the history, the cultural identity of Niagara. We'll have Indigenous performers. We'll have also Tim Hicks, local boy, performing during the show. Posey, who wrote the anthem for the 2022 Canada Games titled Steel Heart, will be performing. So no shortage of fanfare to watch, I think, during the opening ceremony. It'll also be streamed live on our website at niagara2022games.ca/watch. You can also watch it on CBC Gem, cbcsports.ca. Radio Canada is also picking it up. So we're really excited about that event kind of kicking us off on the Saturday.
Okay.
And the day before, we also have the Hall of Honors reception that's taking place.
Right.
This is an invite-only event, but I think it's noteworthy to mention that of the 6 inductees, there are 3 of them that have really strong ties to the region. Those would be Stacey Allister. She was a team manager in 1989 for Team Ontario Tennis. And now she's gone on to do some pretty amazing things. She's a tournament director for the U.S. Open. Michael Strange has also been inducted as a distinguished alumni.
Right.
He is a 3-time Olympian, as many of your listeners probably know.
Yes.
Very well-accomplished boxer, but he competed in '87 at the Canada Games in Cape Breton. And then we also have Don Goodwin, who retired here in Niagara region. Used to live, I believe, up in Toronto, if I'm not mistaken, but he worked for CBC for years, helped bring the Canada Games onto CBC programming. And his wife, of course, sadly, Don is now deceased, so Rosemary will be representing him at the reception. She's a volunteer with us, working the tennis events that we have here with the 2022 Canada Games.
How many volunteers? I mean, I know a few people that are in my circle that have volunteered for various chores throughout the games. How many volunteers have stepped up? How many do you have for this event?
Yeah, so I think it's got somewhere, I think in terms of what we have registered, over 4,000 volunteers.
Wow.
So it really takes the community stepping in and stepping up.
Yeah.
I think there may even still, although we're 2 days away, there's still room for more volunteers. If people want to be involved in this event, it's not too late.
How do they do that?
So I recommend they go straight to the Penn Center. So that is a mall in St. Catharines.
Yeah.
If you go into the Penn Center, specifically door number 6, outside the winners.
Victor number 6. Okay.
Door number 6. I got it very specifically. We have our Meridian Volunteer Center that's just inside, right across from the winners. And we'll take care of you there. So that we need people still for the Athletes Village. There's still some spaces if people want to volunteer there. We also are still looking for people to work event services. Like,
does anybody need any particular training or expertise or skill sets or anything?
No. Just if you're a community member and you want to be involved with this event, like I said, it's not too late. You don't need to have any prerequisite knowledge. You just have to have an enthusiasm, I guess, to be a part of the games. And,
yeah.
I volunteered at Pan Am. It's something that's always stuck with me, and so I'd certainly encourage anybody who has that opportunity to make the most of it, because you'll never forget those experiences you have being a part of the games.
Chris, one thing I just wanted to make sure we touched on, because this is something that is open and free and accessible to all 13 of our communities, one being the region, but that is the 13 for 13. It's very unique to these games. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, of course. Great question, and I'm glad you brought that up. So the 13 for 13 event, everybody considers or looks at the games as being a sporting competition, which it is. However, there's always a very strong cultural component that is attached to the Canada Games. And so with us, there's 2 major festival sites, but I'll start with 13 for 13 because I think it's really cool. So Niagara's got 13 municipalities, 12 local area municipalities, and then the Niagara region.
And then the region, right.
And we also have 13 provinces and territories in Canada. So the 13 for 13 event runs from August 7th through August 20th. And what we've done is we've paired every municipality with a specific province or territory. And so every night of the games, each municipality will host an event that is representative of their pairing. They will have food, music, entertainment that is emblematic and symbolic of that cultural heritage for that
Very,
province.
very cool. That is really neat.
Yeah.
I was unaware of the details of that. I'd heard about it, but I was unaware of the details. That is very cool.
Well, and you'll love this detail. It's all free. And so I think
Free is good.
last week I think I had a phone call from someone who wanted to go to the British Columbia event, which is being hosted by Niagara on the Lake. And it's headlined by Said the Whale, which is a Juno Award-winning band. And he asked me if he could buy tickets. And I said, and he's like, I'm looking everywhere. And I said, to him,
no.
You don't need to look anywhere. It's literally free. You just show up that day. And that's true of each one of these 13 for 13 events.
Wow.
And so certainly would encourage community members to check out at these various municipalities. I know for me, I've always wanted to travel up north to the territories to be able to go to St. Catharines Night for Yukon, or Niagara Falls for Northwest Territories, or Wainfleet for Nunavut.
Fort Erie is Nova Scotia. Yeah,
that would be, I think, Fort Erie. Yeah,
that's Fort Erie. Yeah,
yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it is pretty awesome. And then
Now,
we also have Niagara Place. I should mention, sorry, just before you go on.
No, I'm in. Go.
Yes, thank you. No, I was just going to say, outside of Canada Games Park, it's another festival site which will be active during the day, every day of the games from the 7th through the 21st. So there'll also be local entertainment here. There'll be vendors. So if you want to get a taste and the sounds of Niagara and Ontario, this is going to be the place to be as well. So there's going to be so much, and that's also free. Niagara Place is free. 13 for 13 free. So really, the community, in my opinion, on top of the sporting competitions, there will be no shortage of activity for them to enjoy over the course of these next, I guess it's 18 days from today to the end of the games, but it's 16 days that we have throughout the games.
Chris, the Canada Games aren't new, but who was the brain trust that put some of these things together? Like this concept of 13 for 13. Who dreamt that up? Because it's brilliant. It's just such a great idea.
It is. Yeah, I would say it certainly comes through the bid. I know we have a lot of great staff members here on our marketing team, whether that's Victoria Wixton, who's our Director of Marketing and Community Development, whether that's Paula Ratcher, who works on the event side. And every municipality has also stepped up to take ownership of their own event and working with us individually to help make these things a reality. But I'd also be remiss if I didn't mention the bid group. The concept of 13 for 13 predates my existence with the games. I started in February 2020, and it was already a concept. But I think it's a combination and a lot of work from the host society's perspective, and likely also coming up with the idea and pitching it. And then, Canada Games Council is ultimately the parent organization that follows the Canada Games movement and certainly provides support where it's needed from our end. But I think this was, it's an incredible idea and I love the concept. It's this idea of traveling Canada without leaving Niagara, which I think is a beautiful thing.
It is.
That's out there within the game.
It's a great way to put it, and a great way to wrap up our chat today. Chris Sagan, manager and media communications for the Niagara 2022 Canada Summer Games. Fabulous chat, Chris. Thanks for all the information, and have a good couple of weeks, and we'll hope you get some sleep when it's all over.
Thank you for having me.
All right, man. Take care, Kevin. I am now excited about the games. I can't say as I was, but I am now. I think there's some really cool stuff going on here.
It's also going to be really cool to see all the athletes. Like you said, 5,000 athletes, 5,000. And then, of course, the support staff that come with them. We were trying to line up an interview with Jada Lee. From Newfoundland. And, of course, talking to the Newfoundland people, they're just so welcoming. Everybody trying to help us out. And just so you know, Jada, she's got a family event right now because the team is leaving tomorrow. So beginning tomorrow, you're going to start to see people from all corners of this country chances are wearing team uniforms, walking through all the streets of Niagara. I mean, some events in Niagara Falls, some events in Welland, some events in St. Catharines. I think we reached down into Fort Erie as well.
Yes.
I mean, just every corner of Niagara is going to be touched by these athletes, and it will be really cool. It's not unlike what the Henley brings every year, but it's just to a completely different scale.
Absolutely. And of course, a single sport as important as rowing is to this community, and as Henley has been and has a great legacy, this is just such a variety of skill sets that are invading, if you will, Niagara. And, you know, you always wonder, there's always a debate when you throw your proverbial hat in the ring for an event like this. Is it going to be too expensive? Is it going to cost us too much money? Is it going to make a profit? Is it going to? And very rarely do these things make a profit. I mean, that's not why they're here. That's not what it's about. To add to the profit coffers. They're here to engage with the rest of the country, and we're going to be having wonderful lights shone on Niagara for the next couple of weeks, and I think it will be. My feeling is a great platform or rebound, if you will, from COVID to sort of like boom, we're open for business again.
Yeah,
we're here.
I would encourage everybody to visit their website, Niagara2022games.ca.
Yeah.
And purchase yourself some tickets and go down, because you truly have an opportunity here to meet so many people. Our country is so wide and so vast. You'll be in the grandstand, seated next to their parents, their coaches, their supporters, their family, all cheering on people.
And the baseball,
from British Columbia to Northwest Territories to Newfoundland.
The baseball is being played predominantly at Oaks Park in Niagara Falls, right?
It's actually back and forth.
And in Welland as well?
Yeah, it's back and forth between Welland and Oaks Park. Yeah. You can see the schedule right there.
I played in Oaks Park. I played baseball. I threw a no-hitter at Oaks Park.
And they didn't rename it Sterry Diamond?
I lobbied, but it just didn't happen. I didn't have enough money at 17 or 18.
A no-hitter, and that was in T-ball, so that's what's made it even more impressive.
That's good.
Lee, we got a great Good Samaritan coming up right here on the program.
Excellent. Looking to thank a barber from St. Catharines that was cutting hair. This is a great story. Cutting hair on Clifton Hill this week. What a great story. Please see attached. Hopefully we can find this wonderful person. That, of course, was posted by Nick. Hi, Nick. And again, thank you to Nick for collaborating with us as he does every week here on Niagara 411. Hi to Nick's mom. And hello, could you post something for me? To the barber that from St. Catharines that cut my son's hair a few days ago on Clifton Hill. As an act of kindness, I would love to get in touch with you so we can set up monthly haircuts. My son is 15, has been struggling with mental health issues, and this was so much more than a free haircut to him. He hasn't stopped talking about it for days, and I would love to thank you for taking time out of your day and doing this for people out of the kindness. Chris Pacquin is the barber in question. He's joining us now. Chris, are we connected? Can you hear me and see me okay here?
Yeah, we are connected. Can you hear me?
We are, and yes, I can. First of all, kudos to what you did. What did you do? How did you pull this off? What was your day like that day?
It's funny enough. It was just a normal day for me, but I was watching TikToks and I had seen people going around and giving other people, let's say, like money and stuff like that. And I was thinking, what can I do to give back to people? So it's kind of how the idea sparked.
So then what did you do? I
just wanted to go somewhere. So I just packed up all my tools in a backpack, went out and bought a foldable chair. I had a table already from cosmetology school. And I just walked over from a parking spot in the falls, parked up right in front of the Ferris wheel, and just asked one of the first people I see if I could kindly give him a haircut. And he was a little on the fence at first, but after convincing him, he kind of wanted to give it a shot. A little nervous.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
Now,
And then,
your day job is as a hairstylist, barber at Blackbeards here on St. Paul Street in St. Catharines, and you said you had a chair from cosmetology school. What kind of? So it's like a portable barber chair.
it was I meant a stand, like to hold my tools on.
Yeah.
So it's like a little trolley kind of that you can just put stuff on. So it's a little trolley on wheels that folds. And then I went to the store and bought a foldable chair. So just one, and it's sitting in the trunk of my car right now.
Well, you got a lot of attention from this. Good attention, I might ask. And that woman whose son's hair you cut, have you been in contact with her since that happened?
Yeah, she reached out to me on Instagram, oddly enough, and it was a surprise to me because I didn't really think much of it after I got home, but it's really nice to see how much it impacted her son's life moving forward.
Now, did you cut anybody's hair that wanted to come up and sit down, or did you sort of eyeball the crowd and approach them?
I think we just froze there for a second.
Oh, we just froze for a second.
I'm interested to hear his story, Lee, as to
Me too.
what went down when he was there on Clifton Hill. I think at some point, security might have got involved.
Yeah,
he said he
I was
set
going to go
up
there. Yeah,
right in front of the sky wheel. But we got him back now, Lee. So I'll let you take it away with Chris.
Yeah, sorry. We sometimes the feed from wherever you are gets a little clogged, so we stalled for a bit. Chris, but my question before was, did you choose people or did they choose you?
So funny enough, as I chose the first person.
Yeah.
And I just chose a young man who I thought could use a haircut that day.
Okay.
And as I was cutting his hair, security did come over and tell us that we couldn't be doing what we were doing, even though it was a free service. We needed a permit. So I told him, I was like, you gotta let me finish the haircut at least. So we finished the haircut, and as I was packing up to leave from that location, I had another gentleman ask me if I could cut his hair. I told him I could do it, but just not here at this location anymore. So we went to the parking lot, just behind the Ferris wheel, and I gave him a haircut and his little brother a haircut.
Oh, that's now I imagine that security would have been a little bit confused, because people that do things like this in tourist places are usually trying to make a dollar. They're trying to do something and charge money for it, which is, of course, you need a permit for that. But how could you need a permit to give somebody a free haircut? You're not competing with anybody down there.
No, that's correct. And I tried to tell him that we were going to shoot a music video. That's what we were doing, to try to get him to get the idea that what we were doing was not for anything. And he still let us finish the haircut, which was nice of him. And we just had to pack up our stuff and leave after that.
How many haircuts did you end up doing? Did you get a chance to do before you left the area?
We did 3. And,
just those 3?
We could have gotten more in, but unfortunately we got there super late just because my friend got off work a little bit later, and he's the one who drove me down, and couldn't get off work until around 6 o'clock, I believe. So we got there.
So you got the idea to do this from watching some other video or some other show about other, like, Good Samaritan offering services, etc. That's it. That's as far as it goes.
Yeah, that's correct. Because I like watching those videos because it makes me feel like good, seeing other people do good things.
Yeah.
And
how old are you?
I'm 21. Actually, 22 now. 22.
Okay, 22 now.
Yeah, that's correct.
When was your birthday?
January 2000.
January 2000. That's 2 years ago.
It's 22 years ago, Lee.
Oh, yeah,
oh, that was your birthday.
Yeah, that's his birthday, Lee.
Yeah. But when is your birthday?
The 14th.
Okay, so it wasn't that long ago. All right. So, well, that the reason I asked that was not to be personal. It's just the fact that we hear so many comments today about how the young people coming up are not as dedicated, or they're not doing the job. They're not carrying the torch for previous generations. And I wanted to mention that just because this is an indication that it's totally false. How long have you been barbering?
I've been barbering for 6 years now.
6 years now. Holy cow! Since you were like 16?
That's correct.
Wow.
High school.
Wow. And then you graduated from like cosmetology school or something like that when?
I graduated in 2019.
Okay. All right. So you were doing this off the books when you were younger.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to do this again somewhere? Has this got you motivated to sort of do what they call pop-up barbering?
It definitely has opened like the idea to it. It was kind of just like a random act of kindness, but now kind of on my days off, I kind of want to have the time and stuff like that. I'd like to go out and do it some more.
Yeah.
And,
that's amazing. And I know you're doing this. I know you're doing this from Blackbeards right now. So there's some sounds in the background, etc. Yeah.
I'm doing a haircut.
Yeah. So life is good. Your work is good. You're going to be scissoring for a while then.
Oh yeah, I'll be cutting hair for a long time.
Yeah, Chris,
Definitely enjoy doing it. So.
I just put together the play on words on your Instagram account. I thought it was like, what, crispy? Oh, it's Crispy Cuts. That's really cool. So Crispy, because that would be your name. So Crispy Cuts.
Cuts.
So you can find them on Instagram. Is there anything on Instagram here? I'm just thumbing through it on screen. Anything here from the Clifton Hill cuts? Anything on your Instagram?
Nothing at the moment, just because we haven't really gotten the footage together yet.
Somebody must have taken a picture of you when you were down there.
Oh yeah, lots of people, but I never really got in contact with them afterwards and exchanged anything. It was kind of funny. It was like a little show at one point.
Okay.
Towards the end, it was like a lot of people.
Well,
stuff.
send us a couple when you get a chance, because I'd love to. I would love to get a shot of the scene of you down on Clifton Hill.
I just want to ask, Chris, I'm showing some stuff here on screen where, and I mean, oh God, I'm too old and too unhip. Like, when you're doing the designs in the side of people's hair, what kind of hairstyling is that called? Because you seem pretty good at it, and I guess, you know, if parents are looking for this for their children, send them to you down at Blackbeards, right?
Yeah, so it's like freestyling, or like stenciling or hair drawings is what you would call it, and it's just something I try to work on a little bit, just to kind of separate myself from other people who also cut hair, just because it's nice to get a fade, but it's also nice if we can get like a cool design on the side of it.
Yeah, very, very cool. The future of male hair. Do you do just males, or do you do ladies as well?
I actually cut a female's hair today. She got a short haircut though. And, yeah, we're a unisex barbershop here, so we cut men and women. We just don't really work with long hair so much with the ladies, just because.
Cool.
Try to stick to more shorter.
Some fascinating designs. Well, Chris Pacquin, you gave us some hope for the future. It's always great to see young people carrying the torch and blazing trails and stuff, and that's awesome. And keep us posted. Now, I know if you tell us where you're going to be, it kind of takes the fun away from a pop-up situation. But we'll try to follow you, and I think it's a wonderful thing you did. It's too bad that, and I know the security people probably did it just because they had no other idea how to treat what you were doing. But I think it would have been really cool if you'd have been able to stay down there for an hour or so and do some more. I think it's just an awesome idea. Thanks for doing it.
Yes, thank you for your guys' time, and I really appreciate it.
Okay, man. Take care. Good luck. Kevin, that's... I don't know. There's so many neat things. Yeah, there's a lot wrong with the world, but there are also a lot of neat things happening. out there that, and I'm glad I'm glad we stumbled across Chris to be able to shine a light on a really, really good, productive young person in our community. We're just terrific, just terrific. There are some other things that we talked about talking about, and one of the things that I like to try to do on the show
is thank our sponsors.
Exactly, and you know what? You just pulled that right off the tip of my tongue. Gale's Gas Bars, thank you so much for fueling this program, and again, a reminder that they are one of the very few rainbow registered companies in this community, and that means that they are an acceptable and safe environment, employees and customers included, regardless of your orientation, sexual, political, race-wise, etc. Sanctioned by the LGBTQ plus Chamber of Commerce, and as well as a living wage employer, the only, as we still understand it, the only living wage employer in the petroleum industry in the province of Ontario. So we thank them for throwing their support behind our one-of-a-kind program. It is unique to Niagara, unique to Ontario, and unique to Canada. As far as I know, the only live streaming television show about its community in the country, the way we do it. So, also to Performance Heating and Air, Carlo and the gang over there, your continued support is always appreciated. And to Mark Shirk, Blake Shirk, and your crew at the Niagara originating and still operating Verge Insurance Group for all your insurance needs, still with us today, and we really do appreciate that. We do have one sponsorship open, by the way. Kevin, one of the things I do want to mention, while we get the odd flying critter. One of the things I wanted to mention is you put up to our sponsors not too long ago a little bit of an analysis of the performance of this program over the past year or over its existence, and at the risk of being too self-promoting on this show, I think it is worthy of mention the fact that it is one of the best media connections as far as reach and effectiveness to consumers of media in Niagara, bar none. And I don't have the numbers at my fingertips, but I think Kevin can run them down here for you. Tell us what you got up in the stats.
I mean,
there,
I threw them up there for you. There's a lot coming at you here, but I mean, the most important part is year-to-dately. So just beginning with, episode 1, and here we sit on episode 30.
And we're talking year-to-date starting in January.
Yeah, just this year alone, in 2022, our programming has reached over 2 million people, predominantly right here in Niagara. The exact number, 2,043,568, just with our little program here that you and I put together with the help of, you just mentioned our sponsors, and Nick at Niagara 411, and of course Dave McParian hosting us here in Fiddler's Poorhouse.
Yes.
And if you're a business that's looking to reach people in Niagara, go to your advertising department and talk to them about those kind of numbers, and it's absolutely unparalleled across Niagara, especially at the price point. We are delivering, and sorry, this is going to bog some people down.
Yeah, it gets a little technical, but go for it. It's worthwhile.
Our main metric is a CPM, and that's apples to apples comparison, and that is cost per 1,000. What does it cost you to reach 1,000 people? And the sponsorship we have available right now is delivering $2.12.
So for $2.12, this program reaches 1,000 people.
Exactly. $2.12. If you were a company and you think, I'm putting my money into Facebook ads.
Wouldn't you spend a toonie?
Facebook ads right now are costing you in the neighborhood of $15 to $16. $15 to $16 to reach 1,000 people. We reach that for $2.12, and we've been delivering that for a few years now.
And other media in Niagara are significantly higher than that if you want to reach 1,000 people. Be it traditional radio, be it traditional television, whatever, a traditional newspaper, whatever it is you can think of as an advertising medium, we are the most cost-effective advertising medium in the region, probably in the province. And we don't overload it either. We only have one spot left. And when we have 4 sponsors, that's it. There's no room for any more. So, Kevin, if somebody is interested, how do they contact you?
Leave a comment. You know what? Just leave a comment here. Contact WeeStream. It's so easy to get in touch with people these days. So don't try and make it overly complicated by trying to find my email address or finding our website or this and that. Just leave a comment. We usually scour them all. Find us on Facebook, and we'll get back to you.
While I was away, Ribfest returned to Montebello Park in St. Catharines. And it was always a huge, huge deal for my wife, her sister, and their mom, my mother-in-law. And why? Because as part of the final ceremonies at Ribfest was the Niagara Hospice 5-car draw ceremony, live and at the park. I mention this because, like last year, Ribfest wasn't on, et cetera. You know, COVID did all this stuff. And I don't have to repeat that. You're aware of it. So, the hospice people, Niagara hospice people, had to change how they did their draws, of course. Understandable. But it was a huge bit of fun to sit there in your lawn chair in front of the draw and wait to see if you won a car. And the cool thing about the hospice 5-car draw is the fact that if your ticket came out and you did win a car, your ticket actually went back in, and theoretically you could win 5 cars. How awesome would that be? So anyway, and we've done some interviews with the hospice folks and all the rest of it, and they were great. I do have just one suggestion going forward. Bring the 5-car draw back to Ribfest and do it live. The online version sort of loses its fun. People have spent pretty big money to buy the tickets for the 5-car draw, and they really did like being live and in person at that Ribfest environment. So just a request to the hospice people, and you guys do great work, and I don't want to be critical, but I just think a little bit of advice would be bring it back to its former live and fun glory. And there's your winners of the cars. Winner of the Toyota Corolla hatchback, Scott Meek of Niagara Falls. Yay, locals. Winner of the 2022 Honda Civic, Carl Major of Hamilton. Kind of sort of local. Winner of the Mazda CK5 is Joanne Critelli of St. Catharines. That's awesome. The 3 of them right there. Dale Simpson of Kitchener won the Camaro. And another Niagara Falls ticket, Martin Payne, the Ford F-150. So it's nice to see the locals win the vehicles. And I mean, as far away as we were was Kitchener, which isn't all that far away. So once again, we're so grateful for the continued support from our community and beyond, and incredibly thrilled for our winners. So to Niagara Hospice, another great fundraiser, well done, congratulations. But bring it back live. That had so much panache to it. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that. Chase the Ace also concluded, Kevin, while we were away. We like to kind of catch up on stuff we talked about and bring things to a conclusion so we can come full circle.
Well, maybe you can catch everybody up on the little bit of controversy surrounding Chase the Ace. It did come to a conclusion. Somebody won almost $500,000, and Alicia Mary from Hospice Niagara joined us a couple of weeks ago, kind of to clear the air. Yeah. So there was a gentleman, Mr. Trache, who has won many of these Chase the Ace or Caught the Ace, Catch the Ace, lottery-style promotions over the years, and he won 2 or 3 or 8 or I don't know how many. He won like 8.
Like 8 of the weekly draws in the St. Catharines Hospice fundraiser. And there was some controversy about whether this was all on the up and up, and it proven that it was. He just had his system, if you will, and it probably involved investing a whole lot of money in buying a whole lot of tickets for the next draw. But the interesting thing about after we had the conversation with, I'm sorry, I lost her name, Kevin?
Oh, Alicia Mary.
Yeah, Alicia. Yeah, so, and they did because there were a lot of comments, they did their investigation as well, and there couldn't have been anything more upfront and honest and legal and well monitored than that. So Mr. Trottier he just had a great system, or was incredibly lucky, but the last couple of weeks he didn't win, and he did not win the grand prize either. So whether he altered his activity because of the notoriety or whatever, I don't know. But anyway, there you go. Susan Merritt of St. Catharines, not spelled like Merritt of Meriton and Merit of History of St. Catharines. Totally different spelling. Susan Merritt of St. Catharines won the weekly jackpot of $17,700, and she got the ace, $476,344. So we're talking now just a little bit over 500 grand. We are so excited and thrilled for you, Susan. Congratulations. And it's just one of the most exciting style lottery type fundraiser winning opportunities that you can have. And I do believe, Kevin, it started in a small community in Newfoundland, did it not? Or was it New Brunswick?
They were the first that kind of grabbed everybody's attention. Whether it was their idea or not, I'm not exactly sure. And yeah, that one had, they were shutting the streets down. They didn't sell them online. They had big draws. They had to go down to the arena. Yeah. And then I think they had to go to a bigger venue. Yeah, everybody came down there, of course, pre-COVID. And yeah, from there, a lot of other people. And congratulations, the real winner here, Lee, of course, is Hospice Niagara.
Hospice Niagara.
I mean, you can only imagine if the winner there, Susan, won just shy of $500,000, you can imagine what it meant for Hospice Niagara. So congratulations to Alicia and everybody else involved, and a little bit of luck involved there too, right? Because you don't want somebody to catch the ace week 1, 2, 3, 4. They stretch this thing all the way into about week 45 or something like that.
Yeah, for Niagara, I think it was even later than that, but it doesn't matter. But it was late in the game anywhere. There's only 52 weeks possible because there's 52 cards in a playing deck of cards, and for the fact that it went that many weeks, I mean, the folks at Hospice Niagara have to be thrilled with that.
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah, congratulations, and to Susan again. Yikes.
Yeah.
That's a life changer, that is.
It is, absolutely.
I mean, you can win 15 grand or whatever at Lotto 649 or something, and it's nice, but it doesn't change your life. $500,000 changes your life.
The thing that I'm happiest with, Lee, is that it's somebody from our community, which means that $500,000 is going to generally stay here. Susan decides that she's going to buy herself a brand new car. Chances are she'll visit one of the local dealers, right? If she's going to go out for a celebratory dinner, buy a new house, hopefully she stays local, and it's all going to trickle back down into the community here.
And
so
to the car dealers as well, to back up to the last conversation we had of this 5-card draw, to the car dealers, and I know there's insurance involved and all the rest of it, and there are rules and whatnot, and not a lot of people are out of pocket, but blah blah how the thing works. For these dealerships and for these companies to step up and be a part of this and offer up their inventory, what little inventory they have these days, because with the supply chain the way it is around the world, there aren't a lot of inventories that are fleshed out at car dealers in particular. But kudos to those dealers for stepping up and be a part of these things as well, because it's a big decision to make to do something like that. Kelly Blagden, Kevin, is someone that we have not wanted to take out of our news cycle. As Kevin and I were talking off the air, it's a shame that we do these 24-hour news cycles, or that's what we call them these days. And in order to continue in the headlines and be a part of the public consciousness, you got to have what they call legs, something that keeps the story going longer than 24 hours, because people get in this soundbite society in which we live, people get bored and they move on. And we've tried to keep the Katrina Blagden story up to up to date. And Kevin, I know you're a part of that group, so maybe you want to bring us up to date with what you've been dealing with over the last week or so.
So the name of the group has been changed to Justice for Katrina.
Yeah.
And Kelly, Katrina's sister, put a post out there probably about a month ago saying, listen, while she may have passed, the fight for justice has not. Whatever that means for them long term, I'm not exactly sure.
Right.
Whatever avenues, but we do know that there are costs associated with any sort of legal fight, with any sort of defense or offense. And as such, in the group, they are raising money. And I know it touched so many people here in the community, so I wanted to let them know how they can continue to support Katrina, her family. Of course, she left behind 2 boys in their upper teens. So, I mean, there's just a lot going on there. And let's see if I can bring it up. But they've had a couple of draws. So here you go. Board 2 of 2. Win a trip for 2 anywhere you want to go for $25. So here's how it works. They've bought a gift card for maritime travel for $3,000.
Cool.
They are going to sell 400 spots. So 400 tickets at $25 a pop. So quick math tells me they'll get in $10,000.
That would be the number.
They've bought $3,000, so they'll look to profit $7,000 off of this. And hey, somebody is going to win that $3,000 gift card, and you get to go. And they say it never expires and things like that. And how they got to this point. So here you see this is 100 through 200, and there's still some holes there.
Yeah.
And then once they've sold these, they'll open up the next block of 100 tickets. People can join the group Justice for Katrina to find out more information. And how they got there was here. They held an early draw where I think they raised $3,000, and that included an iPad, maybe a pair of sunglasses, designer sunglasses, stuff like that. And this girl here, Shelly, she did the draw live with a random number generator. It was all absolutely above level. So they took that money, bought the $3,000, and now they're hoping to make $10,000
nice.
total.
Well, good for them. Because,
and let me see if I can bring up Kelly's post. What you can fill.
Yeah, they incurred a lot of costs as a family because they conducted, as you know, week after week after week of search after search after search, and you can imagine some of the costs incurred as a result of the Katrina Blagden story and whatever. You don't know the finances of the family, but whatever is required with regard to burial services and all those things. This
post here, Lee, is what Kelly, that's Katrina's sister, and she's been a guest on this show a number of times, sadly.
Yeah.
And here was her post back July 8th to Trina's Army.
For days I've been searching for the right words to put here to relay how completely and utterly shattered we all are is impossible. Our head understands the information we have been told, but our hearts refuse to accept it. Simply said, our bodies want to reject this unnatural truth that Trina has been taken from us. The best way to let you know how we felt was to change the group name. We aren't going anywhere until justice has been served. The more we search, the more we find. We will not let Trina down. Her truth will be told. Trust us and be patient. We know it's hard. It's hard for us even knowing all we know. Kevin, I wish I knew all that they knew. I wish they felt that they could share it with us. They may be under some sort of agreement to not share what they know, but from a legal perspective, they may have been advised by legal representation to just shut it down for now. But I go back to things I've said in the weeks gone by. I believe that this community has spent enough time and emotion on being interested in justice for Katrina that we deserve to know when it's right, when the time is right. We all deserve to know what is possible to know. I really do. I feel that that's necessary. And
people looking to continue to support Katrina's family, join that Facebook group. It's right there, Justice for Katrina. Yeah. And you can find the proper ways that you can go and purchase a $25 raffle ticket. And right now, that's how they're asking for support. Lee, I know you want to talk about the the truck, the pickup truck that ended up in the pool, because that's just absolute gold.
It's a good picture.
But look at this one. So Nick just posted this. This is a product recall. This will buy me some time to get to those photos.
Oh, that's all right.
Great.
That's all right. I'm
Nick
good.
Just threw this up. It's a product recall, and I don't know if this
I'm
is
wearing
the
a
most,
pineapple shirt. What control do I have?
This is the most redundant warning I think I've ever seen.
Okay, let's have a look. Consumer product recall. Okay. DeWalt 12-inch sliding compound miter saws recalled due to laceration hazard. Okay. Okay. So, meaning you could get cut by it?
I don't know.
Aren't saws designed to cut things? Is this a design flaw? Like you could 12-inch sliding compound miter saws recalled due to laceration hazard. Ladies and gentlemen, if you use a saw, there's an opportunity for you to get cut. Okay. We're recalling a saw because it cuts things.
Oh God! Now let's see. I can only imagine the commenters
Oh.
that filed on this one.
Well, it's only. Hold on, it's a saw. Are they going to recall table knives at restaurants next? Hope the person who stole mine loses a digit. Who would have known you could cut yourself with a saw? Kind of following my train of thought there, Kev.
Yeah, and I'm working with a saw just like this, Lee, pretty much every single week, and I am well aware of the risks.
Now, DeWalt is one of the highest brand awareness names of tool manufacturers, pretty much in North America, maybe the world. You'd think before they distributed their saw, their sliding compound miter saw, that they would figure out that in a certain circumstance you could cut yourself. How is the guard not like? Why the? It's one thing. Does that link? It doesn't say anything. Does it say?
I'm sure it does. I mean, trust me.
It has to explain.
The story has to be more boring than the truth has to be more boring than the headline.
Yeah.
Laceration hazard.
Compound consumer plug. Immediately stop using the recalled miter saw and contact Stanley Black & Decker Canada. Oh, I didn't know they were part of that group.
Neither did I.
For 12-inch are yellow with black accents. Yeah, we know the color. Excluded from the recall with green. Oh, if you have a green dot, you're cool.
Let's see what happens. So they don't.
Yeah, but that's what I want to know.
Issue. Here we go.
The rear guard assembly can break or detach, posing a laceration hazard to the user. As of June 13th, 2022, the company has received one report of a laceration injury in Canada. In the United States, the company has received reports of 8 laceration injuries. The company has received a total of 571 incident reports of the rear guard assembly breaking or detaching. Well, 571 is, I guess it's a fairly significant number. So it's the thing that's supposed to protect you from getting cut that is not protecting you properly.
And if you click on that link, because I mean mine, I think, Lee, is a DeWalt 12-inch compound miter sliding saw, or whatever they call it.
You actually have one of these?
Yeah, it looks just like it.
God.
But I'll have to check to see
How many
excluded.
snazzy tools do you have? You got quite a few, I guess.
Well, I love my DeWalts.
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah, mine's
I have
not
a DeWalt.
exactly
I have a
like
DeWalt
that, but
air blower. That's it. Leaf
pretty
blower, or
close.
whatever.
Yeah, pretty close. I got that one too, Lee.
Yeah.
I got that one too. Here, let's go to Niagara on the lake where this guy took a swim.
All right, here we go. Something you don't see every day. Wednesday, the 27th of July, at about 5:41 in the morning. Okay, well, nothing really good happens at that time in the morning when you're... Anyway. Officers assigned to 2 district, Niagara Falls, Niagara on the Lake, responded to a residential address on Concession 7 Road, town of NOTL, regarding a motor vehicle collision involving a truck into a swimming pool. Upon arrival, officers determined the driver/owner of the truck fled the scene prior to police arrival. The estimated damage value to the truck, $15,000. Estimated damage to the swimming pool, $100,000. Ouch. August 2nd, a couple days ago, officers identified the driver as Grant Barlow, 36 years old, of NOTL. Barlow has since been arrested and is charged with the following offenses: dangerous operation of a motor vehicle, public mischief, failure to remain. Barlow's being held for a bail hearing scheduled to take place, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But how did this happen? I want to know how he got there. I want to know, like, where did he come from? How did he get there? And does the truck have no brakes? Like, what the hell was... I just want to see a video of that happening.
It's got airbags.
Yeah. So it's like, you might call it a sinkhole, but it's not. It's a swimming pool.
I wonder if it was one of those GPS errors, you know?
Yeah.
Really, you want me to go down here?
Yeah, just go straight.
And right now it's going recalculating.
Yeah.
Yeah, mucked up that truck pretty good, but $100,000. I guess that's what the going rate on a pool is.
To the new, well, it was a pool under construction. I mean, it obviously wasn't finished, but, jeez, I want to know how it got there. I really do. Where did it come from to get there? So they found the driver left the scene. Now, the driver would usually leave the scene if he feels that he's done something wrong. What was your first clue? So, and again, I don't know that we'll ever hear how this turns out or what the heck actually really happened, but these stories pop up, and then I want to know what happened. I want to know, just because I'm curious, and I'm nosy. I just want to know.
Yeah. Now, Lee, I got to run outside because we're just getting towards the end of the program.
Yes.
We got a great musical guest coming up, and I got to set up the camera to give us that beautiful shot of St. Paul Street.
Do you have that old picture of Grease Caprice? Remember that old picture?
Gosh, you're asking a lot.
No,
here.
never mind. Go do your
No,
camera.
I got it.
No, go do your camera thing.
Yeah, I mean, you've mentioned it now, Lee. So
I know, but it's me taking you off guard. You shouldn't have to do
Grease
something.
Caprice.
You shouldn't have to do something just because the talent asks you.
What a beautiful name, Grease Caprice.
Hey, if you look up the meaning of caprice, it fits.
Who's that guy?
All right, that guy, well, yeah, that's me. All right, beside me, though, that guy is a fellow by the name of Bruce McCrae. He was one, along with myself and Dave Matick and Randy Learning and a bunch of other folks, Ray Code, Mike Mann. We were members of the brainchild of Dave Matick, actually kind of put this thing together. We were sort of a local Sha-na-na style band, 50s, 60s rock and roll. Now, Bruce, I got in contact with him, or he got in contact with me earlier in the week, and he does photography, he writes poetry, and I haven't seen him in decades. He lives out on the West Coast now. But he sent me this copy of a song that he did, and used a video that might have been fairly popular back in the day. Anyway, the soundtrack, he's from Niagara Falls, Chippewa area, and we all went to school together, and we all did this band, and we traveled on the road, etc. Well, what was really interesting is I saw this video that he put together. The music is original, written by him. The vocals are original, sung by him. The video was not done by him, but he did tweak it a little bit from one that you might have seen before on YouTube or whatever. But anyway, this is a local boy who is now a local old man, just like me.
Wow.
Yeah, that was me.
You guys are real entertainers.
Yeah,
is that him there?
That's Bruce. Yeah. Yeah. He spent some time in England in the music scene over there, so he's done a lot. Well, I went on to do the radio thing. Some of these guys went on to continue in the.
Yeah, it seems like he loves the stage, and the stage seems to love him too.
Yeah. he didn't want to come on to talk to me today. He said, "No, I don't do much live stuff anymore." But anyway, his video called "I Got a Girl" is going to be playing us off the stage today. Again, I do want to thank Chris Seguin, manager and media of communications, for Niagara 2022 Canada Summer Games that kick off with the opening ceremonies on Saturday. Also want to thank Chris Pacquin, the young man, 21-year-old barber at Blackbeards just down the street, Blackbeards Barbershop and hairstylist here on St. Paul Street in St. Catharines, for coming on to talk about the free haircuts he tried to give away, and did manage to give away 3 before he was asked to relocate from Clifton Hill over the weekend. Just a really cool story and a nice gesture. I want to thank Gales Gas Bars Limited again for fueling this program, as they have done for quite some time. Also, Performance Heating and Air and Verge Insurance Group for sponsoring the show. Kevin Jack, as always, my friend, a pleasure. You do a fabulous job executively producing this show. And WeeStream, Canada's premier streaming service. If there is any event or item, etc., that you ever want streamed, start there, and you'll save a lot of time by looking at other places.
And Lee, this Sunday, beginning at 1 p.m., if you check out the WeeStream Facebook page or go to Ontario Volleyball Association, we'll be streaming the Ontario Beach Volleyball Championships.
Awesome.
It's great stuff.
So, my name is Lee Sterry. Thank you for joining us again with Niagara 411 Live. Nick, again, as always, thank you for our collaboration sharing here on Niagara 411. We'll do episode 31 a week from today. Have yourself a fabulous weekend, and figure out ways to stay cool and keep people safe, because it's going to be super, super hot and humid. To play us off the stage, I've Got a Girl, a fun video and original soundtrack from Niagara native Bruce McCrae. Have yourselves a great day. Thanks, gang, for being here.
I got a girl in Miami. I got a girl in Tahiti. I got a girl in Chicago. I got a girl in Idaho. I got a girl whose words can be heard. I got a girl who really hurts. I got a girl in hiding, she's a firebrand. Her eyes are green and she plays the violin. I got a girl in Tokyo. I got a girl in Ontario. I got a girl in Chinatown. She doesn't speak the lingo and her eyes are brown. I got a girl on the edge of time, in a funny state of mind. I got a girl with a cute little lisp. I got a girl who's always taking risks. I got a woman that I can't get. Going wild. I love a girl who's happy after dreaming sad. She's always buzzing and she's always red. I got a girl, her eyes are blue. I got a girl, she's just like you.